Well, good evening, folks. Saturday. Uh, well, what can I say? This video, I hope that you find it interesting as I did. But with the information I'm nothing special, and I have the ability to know just how much I don't know, which is rather unique in a lot of human beings, because I'm not arrogant. But what I do know is I'm trying to share what I know to help other people out, and that's why I find these videos cathartic. So please understand, I'm not trying to teach you anything. I just want to pass some information on that you might find useful. Heaven forbid I should want to patronize anybody. But I appreciate your comments and your subscribing and your thumbs ups, as they say, all very important. And if you've got nothing nice to say about anything, just don't say anything. It's very straightforward. So welcome aboard. And despite what people think, I do have lots of other things I could be doing, but I'd rather be doing this for now as part of my penance for being here, because I tried to do something to improve the life of others on a daily basis. It's all about karma. There used to be a saying, and there's one life principle I want to really get across to you, that unfortunately I learned this late in life, probably not too late in life, thank goodness, but late enough to make some damage. So I want to convey it to you as soon as I can, so maybe you're younger than I am when I learned. And when I learned what I'm going to tell you in a second, I was around about 27 years old, and I'm now 57. So do the maths. But there used to be a saying, when all roads lead to Rome, any road will do. You can take any road in order to get there if all roads lead to Rome. Well, it's not the case. Any roads won't do, because what you'll find is you'll have a huge collection of people who get to Rome from various routes that they've taken and had to face the trials and tribulations of such journeys depending on the road they took. Some people will arrive in Rome thoroughly pissed off. It might take them a lot longer to get to Rome as other people who got there a bit quicker because they took a different road. But it's not a case of any road will do. I want to get across to you the importance of choosing the right road that's going to expedite or speed up your eventual arrival at Rome. Now, when you get on the road, of course, to Rome, it's just as arbitrary as to say the road to London, quite frankly, but we'll stick to Rome. You know, whether you have an easy journey or a long one depends on the road you take. But the one thing they all have in common, the people that arrive in Rome, they've all got different experiences. They're all, yes, successful because they got to Rome and survived to tell the tale. But they've all got their stories to tell about their journeys. And some have had horrendous journeys, and some of them couldn't believe their luck and how easy it was to get to Rome. And such is our life like this. Hopefully we get to 70 years and 10 as a bare minimum. And we all get there along our individual roads to Rome, don't we? So with that analogy, if you like, what I want to do is explain the importance, because the one common denominator in all the people that eventually get to Rome is that they all had a goal. They all had a purpose to be going to Rome. That was their goal. They had to get to Rome. Whatever the reason was, they had to get to Rome. All of them had this common thing in mind when they travelled up various roads of hardship, difficulty, yada yada yada, of getting to Rome. They all got to Rome, but they all had different experiences, and some experiences were very pleasant and some were very horrible. But the common denominator in all of them, then, they all shared was they had a goal. They just needed to get to Rome. That's all. That's all it takes, is one goal. Okay. It really doesn't matter how long it takes them to get to Rome, because it's not a speed thing. Okay. Perhaps you would think that it's to get to Rome for clever people and not so clever people. No, no, no. That wasn't in the equation either. It doesn't matter whether you're as thick as shit, quite frankly, or the brightest star. The idea and the goal was to get to Rome. Okay, so we all have our ways of arriving at the age of 60 or 70 in this life. And we all got there by different ways. Everybody is unique, folks. Everybody is unique. But the common thing is that we just want to survive long enough to get to Rome and to become 70. Okay, now we got that in our heads. Good, good, good. And I cannot stress the importance of you and me having a goal. Okay. And very, very few people, less than 5% of the world's population, 5 in 100, have any idea of goals or the importance of goal setting. And this is what I want to tell you about in this video. There's hundreds of videos about goal setting, but from my perspective, I want to give it to you. Because I've listened to lots of others talking about goal setting, and sometimes I disagree with some of the stuff they say because they miss the point. It's not always about achieving your goal, you know. And it's the importance of what you get out of the achievement that's more important. Because sometimes being first past the post, amongst others who will eventually pass the post but behind you, it's not to say, the goal isn't therefore to be the first past the post, it's to reach the post. Not to compete with others to get there. So we shouldn't be judgmental of how people actually get to their goal, providing they get there ethically and without hurting others. Okay, and the quickest way to get to your goal is to enjoy the journey and help people enjoy their journey. Okay, and love and support one another. And we tend not to do this in life, do we? Because it's my goal and nobody's having it. I want it first, and this is a selfish gene coming out. But goal setting. There are a lot of nonsense talked about goal setting. There's short-term, medium-term and long-term goals. Okay, well, it's a little bit like how do you eat an elephant? Well, the first thing you do, you know the objective of the game is to eat the elephant. And some will eat it quicker than others, but the volume of the size of the elephant remains the same for all of us. So we've got to slice it up in manageable slices and eat it one slice at a time. We'll have eaten our elephant by the time we come to the end, of course, but some people will eat the elephant far quicker than others will. Others won't achieve it because they get fed up of eating elephant and they think, sod this. So, the important thing is to have a worthwhile goal. That's the one thing. It could be, you know, setting a future date or a target. The goal could be an event, but we're talking about getting to the age of 70 and looking back on your life and smiling about it, not with regret. And yet, if you don't have a goal like that, if the end result of the goal is just to be in Rome, as we said, well, that's not the important aspect of the whole exercise, as I said. It's more important you enjoy the journey and do as least damage to other people, to the greatest benefit of other people, your journey to Rome. And as I said earlier on, there is short-term, medium-term and long-term goals. And you can split them up how you like, but the overall objectives, they all have to contribute by achieving each short, medium, long-term goal to getting you to where you want to be, and that's Rome. The problem is with human beings that 95% of us don't have any goals. We have no idea. We just follow the path of least resistance in our lives and go where the wind takes us, or events, and we are, as they say, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Many people will put their failure down to being victim of circumstance. But everybody's a victim of circumstance in their daily lives. We cannot make excuses, because excuses are thin shells of truth stuffed with a lie, aren't they? And they're unacceptable. I don't want any excuses. It's a little bit like the guy that goes in, I've said it before, I'll say it again, goes in to book a holiday, and he sits there, as we all do, flicking through the magazines, and then sits down in front of a young girl. He says, "Can I help you?" And he says, "Yeah, I want to go on holiday." She goes, "Oh, good. Where do you want to go?" And there's a big pregnant pause. He said, "I don't know, I haven't quite decided yet." She thinks. Okay, well, when are you planning to go then? Let's look at that. When are you going? Well, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 3 months' time. Not too sure, really. Sorry about that. She starts to roll her eyes. Okay, well, how are you going to get there? Are you going to fly, drive, boat? Hadn't really given it much thought. Okay. Well, at this stage, she's probably thinking of phoning the men in white coats to come and take you away. And quite rightly so. Because he's either a raving lunatic or he's wasting her time. There's potentially probably more of a chance of him being a lunatic. Yet this is what we do in our lives. We're born, we go through the school system, the big object of the game is to get a J-O-B. And then we do that for 40 years, and then at the end of that lot we drop dead. That's what they want. And none of us, very few, 95%, as I said, don't goal set. We just get through life with the least resistance possible, get as much pleasure out of it as we can, and then be quite happy to turn up our toes. And this is why 95% of people don't achieve anything of any value in their lives when they look back. But 5% do. And I'm going to tell you the difference between the 5% and you and me. So remember the man booking to holiday, or woman, the same. He'll be carted off by the men with white coats and put in an ambulance and taken away. But it doesn't happen, you see. We're released into the general public. And there's lots of them like that, isn't there? Well, I wanted to be a this, or I wanted to do that for a job, but circumstance being what they were, excuse. You know, lost my job, didn't pass the exams, didn't do this, didn't do that. I took the wrong path, I was naughty and I went to prison. Yeah, we've all got excuses, as I said. And 95% of us don't have a goal. And the reason goals are very, very important, folks, is that most of us are exactly like that guy trying to book a holiday. Would you set off in a boat on a stormy sea, few rocks out there ready to take you down if you hit them, and you get up there on the boat and you set sail, but there's no rudder? You're going everywhere, man. You have it, you know, you can take the seasickness, and the wind's pushing you along at a good rate of knots, but there's absolutely no control over you being able to steer that boat away. Well, so should say ship away from the rocks. And 95% of us will crash on those rocks. You would think everybody's insane who gets on a boat like that, but this is what we're like. We're nutters, most of us. It's a bit like doing the same thing, time in, time out, time in, time out, all the time, and expecting different results. If we keep doing the same thing time and time again, we're going to get the same results time and time again. It's not exactly common sense, but this is what we do. You keep taking the same shit and giving the same shit, you're going to get the same shit. It's very simple. And what proved this to me was that there was a big survey done in America, a huge survey of the 5%ers. And I talked about the importance of, it's not so much the fact that you got to Rome, it's how you got there with the least hassle and helped the greatest of humans, your fellow humans, to enjoy their lives while you enjoyed your journey. How many people did you help on the way? That's the point. Okay? But they didn't disturb your goal. You remain focused. But how many people did you help? And this is very, very, very important whether you have a happy life at the end of it all, in the sense of a happy retirement, let's say. What will make you happy? Well, they analysed 100 very, very top performers in the 5% group. Okay. And they asked them one by one by one, are you very wealthy? Yes. Would you consider you successful? Yes. Have you got the flash cars, the private education, the skills? Yes. They've got all the trappings, all the trappings, all the trappings. Okay. And they said to them eventually, they went through the same questions on all 100 of them. Okay. And out of the 100, they then stood back and said, right, in front of them all, they said, right, all those of you, thank you for coming along and bearing your souls to us. And we want you to be brutally honest, brutally honest. Take 5 steps forward, those people who are very happy in their jobs or their careers. And only 5 out of the 100 stepped forward. The rest were reasonably content and proud of their achievements, but to be brutally honest, they weren't happy people. Very wealthy, but that doesn't equate to happiness. The 5 people out of the 100, 5%, that stood forward were amongst the least well off of the 100. Excuse my dogs. And this is quite considerable and impressive. And I'll tell you why. When they asked the 95% group that stood there still when they were asked if they were terribly happy in their lives, they were a bit, could be better, never quite satisfied types. They were in the financial service industry. They were bankers dealing with money. These were the rich bastards that were in high finance, obviously, or politics, and that world. And the 5 left who had got there and are extremely happy in their job, they were in what they call the service industry. That means they helped other people. These were the high flyers in altruistic professions. The 5% of the top 5%. And that's quite amazing, because that would say that out of them all, the top 5% can be split up. And only 2 out of the 5 will be very happy. And the other three are never quite happy. So the successful people in life you can get from all this are the ones that get and achieve their goals, end up doing what they want to do since they were very young, and what they actually do and continue to do throughout their journey from setting off to getting to Rome was to help people on the way, because they derive great satisfaction and pleasure from helping other people. The other 95% of the top 100 got there because they had selfish goals in mind. They wanted to amass most money in the shortest possible time. They wanted to be wealthier than everybody else, but they gave nothing back. For those people, it was all take, take, take. But you can achieve a lot in your life by giving, giving, giving. Because when you help enough other people in life achieve what they want, you will get what you want and more. That's the thing. And that is the truth of the matter. It's not so much being successful to getting to Rome, folks. It's how you get there and how did you help other people get there as an added bonus. And those that didn't help other people reach their goals ended up reaching their goals as being miserable and unfulfilled. And when these 95 out of 100 banker types were asked would they go into banking if they had their time again, do you know what most of them said? Probably not. I'd find something a little bit more rewarding, but not from a financial aspect, because their souls were empty. It was all me, me, me with them. And the happy people got what they want and got happiness by helping other people. And they got happiness in plenty. So whenever you have a goal, make sure it's not for selfish reasons. Make sure that if you do want to start one foot in front of the other towards your goal, that you're not going to leave casualties in your wake, and you're going to help people along the way. And this is why people who do jobs that are well beneath them, but it's not all about the money. It's helping other people. And we're here to learn this. We're here to learn to love other people. Achieve your goals by all means, but not at the expense of other people and their happiness and their security and safety. But all the 1%ers out there, the hidden hand, they don't care. And they have to be, well, more to be pitied than scorned, because I don't care whether they're ever going to be happy or not. I hope they're not, because they don't deserve to be. And remember what I said, you'll get in life back tenfold what you put in. If you help enough people get what they want, you will indeed get what you want and more. So encourage your children to share and help others along the way who may be less fortunate. And this is all about loving one another, folks, and taking care of one another. And not being selfish, which is the most insidious trait of humans.